There is a special Bitcoin whale that just opened a short position on Bitcoin worth over $100 million. But BlackRock over the past 2 weeks bought Ethereum for $570 million. Is Bitcoin about to crash? And what's gonna happen with Ethereum? Let's unlock the trading insights.
My crypto paradise.
This is Simon from My Crypto Paradise. Today we will be talking about Bitcoin and a little bit about Ethereum as well. As you know, previously 1 day ago we have been analyzing Bitcoin together, you and me, and we have understood that because we have completed this ABC zigzag and also because of the other indications I have been analyzing for you during these 15 minutes and 30 seconds, I told you with the highest probability Bitcoin will start moving to the downside. As you can see right now, Bitcoin is breaking below the ascending trend line right here and struggling with the moving average trend line. We will be talking about what's gonna happen next with the highest probability with Bitcoin, but before I would like to shift your focus towards Ethereum/Bitcoin. Okay, we will be basically taking a look who is stronger in this market right now, and as you can see, Ethereum is basically outperforming Bitcoin, right? Since the time I've told you, since May, I've told you there might be a decoupling or there will be a Bitcoin sideways movement or a little bit upside or even a downside. I told you at the same time Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin heavily, and that's visible on this chart right now. As you know, we are creating from the bottom. We have had so long bearish rally, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. It basically started since 2022. As you can see, Ethereum was extremely underperforming Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen, and I do believe that right now we are starting a new trend that will change basically absolutely everything about Ethereum. So as you can see, we are creating 5 moves to the upside. That is the confirmation that we are not basically just doing the corrective mode waves to the upside, right? Because as you know from the Elliott Wave theory, if we are completing like actionary waves in some kind of a direction downwards or upwards, it's usually the main trend, the main higher degree trend, right? And we will be talking about Bitcoin is actually creating a similar trend but to the downside. We will be talking about that, but right now in the Ethereum/Bitcoin, what I'm like looking at right now is a successful breakout of this contracting triangle. I want to see some confirmations, ladies and gentlemen, out of this. As you know, the fourth wave from Elliott Wave theory is usually a triangle or some other sideways movement corrective wave, and right now we have completed the triangle, the contracting triangle. As you know from our website mycryptoparadise.com, this was a textbook example of a contracting triangle that subdivides itself into 5 smaller waves, A, B, C, D, E. As you can see right here, A, B, C, D, E, we have completed the E wave right here, and right now we are breaking above the triangle. Right now, if the descending trend line will hold the retest, if there is going to be a retest, this will be another confirmation that this breakout from this contracting triangle is successful. We have successfully completed the 4th wave, and we can continue in the 5th wave, in the final 5th wave of our impulse. And I do believe the next targets will be right here and right here. Once we will start getting close to any of these resistances, I will be very careful about Ethereum. I'm not sure if I will be looking at short positions, but I will definitely be very careful. And with the Paradise team inside of Paradise Family VIP, we will be creating, as always, strategies, trading strategies that will help us to make some profit from this market. So from the higher degree perspective, if this is going to be successful, we will go above this 3rd wave. That will really confirm that we are making an impulse and that the trend from bearish is changing inside into a bullish trend, ladies and gentlemen, and I will be extremely bullish on Ethereum. Speaking about Ethereum, let's have a look at its chart. Right now we can see that we have touched this resistance created by this ascending trend line, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see on Ethereum chart, we are creating impulse as well, right? This is the 1st wave, 2nd wave, 3rd wave, and this was finished of a 4th wave, ladies and gentlemen. I have extended previously, we have been looking at the expanded triangle in which this 4th wave is being created only like until here, right? Then with the Paradise team, we have been recalculating the subwaves waves, and right now it seems much better that the price action, because we had very extended corrective mode wave. Basically we have been sideways movement since May, 12th of May, ladies and gentlemen. So I do believe that right now we have finished already the expanding triangle, and the E wave was right here, finished right here at around $2,400, ladies and gentlemen. So unlike the Ethereum / Bitcoin chart, where we have been creating the fourth wave of an impulse inside of a contracting triangle, I do believe that the Ethereum is finishing its fourth wave, and already actually finished its fourth wave inside of an expanded triangle. And as you can see, also the same way as the contracting triangle, the expanding triangle also subdivides itself into 5 smaller waves, A, B, C, D, E, right? And if everything works based on the Elliott Wave theory on this chart, I do believe that this was the A wave, this was the B wave, C wave, D wave right here, E wave. As you can see, each and every single wave is made out of a corrective mode wave itself. This, for example, is a zigzag, right? And this is one of the rules in the Elliott Wave theory in understanding and being able to spectate the contracting or expanding triangle with precision. So if this was the E wave, the final E wave, right now we are starting a move towards that 3,000 something level, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, this is a major resistance where I do believe the final fifth wave will be finished, and the price action, how we gonna get there, will really depend on how volatile and how liquid the market is going to be over the summer. So together with that, you can see that I have created few more ascending trend lines right here and right here. Why have I done it? Because I want to understand the target of the final fifth wave with more confluences than just having this resistance created by the Fibonacci retracement level and also structural level. This ascending trend line that I will show you how did I create it will help us to understand where the price action will be rejecting from, right? So as you can see, this is our impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, and what I have done is basically connect the bottom of the secondary wave, and now that we are sure that the fourth wave with the highest probability finished right here, we can put the slope to connect these points precisely like this, okay? And if I basically copy the slope and I put it at the top of the third wave right here, it basically gives me an approximate understanding where the fifth wave can finish, right? And then really it depends on how slow or fast the price action is going to be, but as you can see, it's nicely confluencing with the resistance zone right here at around $3,400, ladies and gentlemen. So the confirmations for a continuation to the upside is not only the subwaves, because right now on a smaller scale, I will be talking about a smaller scale on a 4-hour time frame very soon, but right now it seems that we are creating a third wave that probably is finished already, and we might have a retest right here towards $2,500 to retest the top of the first wave, ladies and gentlemen, and then we might have a continuation higher if this resistance that is created from the Fibonacci retracement level right here and also the ascending trend line right here will be reclaimed. So from the higher degree perspective, also once these 5 waves to the upside, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves to the upside are finished, as you know, it will basically conclude the higher degree first wave, all right, and then we will have a secondary wave that will finish right here, or it will create a nice demand and support at $2,400, which is basically a bottom of the fourth wave and doesn't let us go even lower. And if this is going to hold from here or from here, and this, like, given that these 5 waves will be correct, we will have the third wave that will take us towards $9,000 that I have been talking about in the previous videos. Let's right now zoom in inside of this price action to understand what's going on, ladies and gentlemen, on Ethereum. As you can see from the previous videos, on the medium time frame, on the 4-hour time frame, I have shared with you this resistance. Right now Ethereum is reacting perfectly to it, and it all depends on this moving average trend line and this structure support that previously was working as a resistance. And also, as you know from the previous videos, it is a Fibonacci demand zone, Fibonacci level, important one, very important one. And also we have VPVR just below it, right? So if this can hold, if this can hold, ladies and gentlemen, we can go even higher and retest this next resistance before going down. However, once we start seeing that this moving average trend line is being reclaimed by Ethereum, that means the breakout with nice volume above average, then a retest, bearish retest and continuation, that basically means that we have concluded. But if we take a look at the price action development, ladies and gentlemen, we can see that we have created 1, 2, 3, 4. Right now it seems like we are creating a fourth wave, ladies and gentlemen. So if this is correctly following the Elliott Wave theory, we should have one more move to the upside, because we are creating basically a first wave of the fifth wave, of the higher degree fifth wave. And as you can see on our website mycryptoparadise.com, the fifth wave is also a motive mode wave which subdivides itself into 5 smaller waves, right? As you can see right here, the waves within the waves, the subwaves. As you can see, the fifth wave, the higher degree fifth wave, also subdivides itself into 5 smaller waves. Why? Because it's a motive mode wave, right? So if this Elliott Wave theory will work right here and we are in the first wave of an impulse, we should start creating some kind of a triangle or consolidation. It's less likely that we will create some zigzag towards retesting the first wave right here before having the final fifth wave that will, with the highest probability, touch this resistance level, but there is the probability. So for a confirmation, as a professional traders, we need to be ready, right, for absolutely everything. So if there is going to be a confirmation, we are reclaiming this into a resistance, I will be looking at the next demand right here. So that's about Ethereum. Let's right now jump into Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, unlike Ethereum that is having for the first time in a while a 5 moves to the upside, Bitcoin is having it to the downside, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's meaning that basically with the highest probability we are changing the trend, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, as you can see on the RSI indicator, we are retesting the moving average trend line. If the RSI line will start crossing the moving average trend line, I will start getting very bearish, because it will create a bearish cross, ladies and gentlemen, and that will just increase the bearish probabilities that we have also finished, and we can continue down after finishing the zigzag. We will be talking about the zigzag very soon. But from the daily perspective, right now we are looking at a high time frame chart, which is basically representing every single candle that is 24 hours trading activity. And as you can see, just few hours ago we have created a new daily candle that closed below this resistance that was created by 1.618 Fibonacci retracement level, which is bearish. Right now we are retesting this moving average trend line, ladies and gentlemen. We have also one more support right here. If another candle will be closed below it, all right, and we will also reclaim this moving average trend line into a resistance, it will be a confirmation that we will keep going to the downside and that we will really start going down towards that $93,000, ladies and gentlemen. So all eyes on that. I will be taking a look at some long positions if we will start crossing above this higher degree secondary wave. What I'm talking about is that 5 moves to the upside. This is probably the higher degree first wave. Right now we have completed the zigzag I will be talking about. That's a higher degree secondary wave. If we are about to go down towards $93,000, I don't want to see a reclaim of this previous high. If we will have a break and retest, that will be a successful reclaim. We will turn this resistance into a support, and it will break the Elliott Wave theory, and I will be looking at some long positions and ride Bitcoin to new all-time highs. However, right now it seems bearish. Let's zoom into a 4-hour time frame. As you know from the previous videos, we have created the target, we have hit the target of our inverted head and shoulders pattern, right? For in the previous video I've calculated for you the target that was hit. Also we have hit this resistance, and basically this is our secondary wave. And as you can see to the upwards, we are creating a corrective mode waves, reactionary corrective mode waves, right? So that is bearish, because it basically means to the downside for the first time in a while. As you can see, since April, basically since April right here on the downside, we have been creating creating just a corrective mode waves inside of a triangles or some double triple zigzag corrective mode waves. For first time right now we are creating 1 2 3 4 5 impulses, actionary waves to the downside. So it seems like we are changing the trend, ladies and gentlemen, if we can hold below the top of the secondary wave. Right now, however, we have a little hidden bullish divergence. As you can see, the price action is creating a high low. However, the MACD indicator is creating lower low. Together with that, let's have a look at the sentiment. What we are having right here is a bullish, hidden bullish divergence. What does it mean? That the momentum is there, right? Lots of people are like creating market orders, but are these market orders are from selling or buying? Well, this is a hidden bullish divergence. What does it mean? The price action is not following the momentum, right? That means somebody is accumulating on the selling pressure. If we take a look at the sentiment, we can clearly see that the market is in a fear mode, right? We are at the 40 points. You can monitor that on our website mycryptoparadise.com. So there is going on some panic between retail. They are creating the selling pressure. Somebody's accumulating on that selling pressure, and I do believe that we will need to go back to the 80 points before we can again continue in the bearish rally. All right, so I will be monitoring this with the Paradise team. Once we are back at 80, I will be giving loads of attention to some short positions. So right now there is a possibility of a pullback to the upside, ladies and gentlemen, but I don't want to see a break or reclaim of this resistance that would basically decrease the bearish probabilities and made me think that we can go and create a new all-time high. However, right now I'm suspecting that this resistance will hold, right? And we will be able to ride lower the Bitcoin prices. Confirmations from that we can get from 1 hour time frame, from low time frame chart, ladies and gentlemen. I've been talking about this a lot in the previous video. As you can see, we have been confirming the ABC zigzag pattern, right? I've told you lots of guidelines in the Elliott Wave theory. I supported that this was just a zigzag. For example, the A wave is the similar length as the C wave, as you can see right here. The B wave was a corrective mode wave in skewed triangle. We have been going through absolutely everything, and right now I do believe that we are creating a 5 moves to the upside on a lower time frame, and we have just finished a third wave because we just got a support from 1.618 Fibonacci retracement level. Also there was some VPVR right here, so some institutions been accumulating, as I've said, and basically right now I do wait for some bearish divergence. As you can see, this was the momentum, this was the strength of the bulls previously on 11th of June right here, right? So we just need to push a little bit, just a little bit, and we will basically create a bearish divergence, right? Because the price action will create lower high. However, the MACD, it just takes a little bit of momentum, ladies and gentlemen, and we will create a higher high. So once we get that confirmation, I also want to see if we break above this moving average trend line. I want to see some kind of a retest of this channel, but the pump would need to be very quick, all right? Because if that's going to be slow, right, we will start going above the previous high, and if that's gonna be the case, the bearish pressure will disappear. I don't want to see that, right? We have a high VPVR right here at around $109,500, ladies and gentlemen. So this is basically gonna be very strong resistance. Lots of institutions in this consolidation been selling. We have been seeing on chain lots of sell limit orders, distribution, as I've been sharing with you also in the previous videos. So they will be defending this price, right, a lot. So I do believe that if we reclaim this moving average trend line, we can go a little bit to the upside, all right? But after that, if we can hold below this, we'll continue in our bearish pressure. As always, I'll keep you updated. As you know, I'm recording for you every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. So next time I will see you on Saturday, on weekend. Until then, smash the like button if you have enjoyed this video. You don't need to, but you can smash it, and I will see you again on Saturday. Cheers.